Well, we finally made it to the houseplant tour. I thought we would never see this day. It's so exciting. Hi, my name is Shannon. This is Planted 386. This is Samson. Say hi, Sam. And he's always in my business. Yeah, you're always in my business. Excuse me. Excuse me, we're recording. This is JMO. So without further ado, I hope you will consider liking, subscribing, sharing. When you guys leave me a comment, it's so exciting to me. I love this community. I've been enjoying it so much. I started in January and I feel like I have made so many wonderful planty connections on YouTube. So yeah, feel free, leave a comment. Tell me what your favorite houseplant is. And I also make planty content all over the internet. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. So yeah, guys, let's get into it. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so this is the view from my front door. And immediately if you turn left, this is my planty corner. This is where I film all of my videos, and that little stool right there. And yeah, this is where I like to come and hang out. So I guess we'll just start right here. This is just a little spider plant that was given to me by my neighbor, and I had this cool little glass cloche, so I just kind of put it in that. This is a little air plant that John found me outside, and actually this little hanger I got a couple weeks ago at the thrift store that we cleaned, so that's pretty exciting. We find all kinds of cute things there. And then down here I have my philodendron tortum just kind of wrapped up around this pole. I do also have, recently I just took cuttings of this plant, so she was to the top of the pole, and yeah, so I've taken some cuttings of her. I love this little juice container. I haven't decided yet what exactly I'm going to do with it. I think I'm going to put some kind of terrarium plant in there, but yeah, I just thought it was cute. And then this is my Euphorbia trigona. I recently just put her here, potted her up. This is my Anthurium Queen of Hearts. She's looking so lovely. And then down below is Miss Aglianema. This is our Aglianema Pictum tricolor. Really beautiful. Really beautiful. She was so tiny. I have pictures of her on Instagram of how little she was. And then right here, directly next to this, is the Millsbow cabinet. So this is our Millsbow tall. You can see that up here, these plants really survive on very minimal light, in my opinion. This is pretty dark. I have thought about putting like a pendant light up here. I just haven't. But yeah, so basically back here, I know the lighting is going to be a little rough. This is just a marble queen pothos, and I have her in a pitcher. Like a glass pitcher. There's some leca, and I think that was actually my first batch of pon that I ever tried to make. She's doing okay. This is my Black Pagoda lipstick plant. I found this crock at the thrift store, fell in love with it, and decided, oh my gosh, I absolutely have to have that. And I don't know, I just think this plant looks so beautiful hanging and draping over it. Next to that is my Philodendron Golden Crocodile. I do have her in pon. This is a story of just survival, sheer will to live. This plant I dropped, completely broke almost every single leaf. I ended up plopping her in just some pon, and I have pretty much neglected her. She just continues to thrive. Next to that is a cutting of Philodendron Silver Stripe, not doing so well. And then next to her is another lipstick plant, Mona Loa? I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, I got her. She was teeny, teeny, tiny. She's doing okay. And then another spider plant from my neighbor. And that's the top shelf there. So coming down in my cabinet, you know, let's go ahead and get in here. Okay, I turned the fan off, so hopefully that won't be so distracting. This is just a little variegated watermelon peperomia. I love this little plant so much. I love the pot so much. I actually made this pot, I just kind of wrapped an IKEA pot in air dry clay. Basically, I just kind of like formed the little hands or whatever, but this is inspired from the little swing pot on the Modern Aqua website. I actually did make a little swing for her as well, but I can't find anywhere for her to swing, so I just have her sitting in here for now. This is a Dark Magnificum hybrid. I do have it kind of like, it's trying to rehab in this new substrate. She's struggling. This is just some cuttings. This is a peperomia. Peperomia, oh, I can't remember the name. When we come to the mother plant, I'll look. But those cuttings I just recently took, so they are just kind of like in some water. This is some Hoya Wilbur Graves cuttings that I took from my mother vine, and I'm trying to make like a full pot of this plant. So these guys are currently trying to root, and I have another pot that I just potted into soil from moss. I'll show you in a second. This is my Zara. You can see that's her newest leaf. She just gave me this. She's looking so good. I really struggled with this plant. She's in the Pray For Me pot. Anytime I put a plant in the Pray For Me pot, it always works out. So hopefully we are on the up and up with Miss Zara. Next to that is a couple of Philodendron domesticum variegated just cuttings. Basically our boxer puppy that you saw in the beginning shredded my plant, and I had to start it over from scratch. He didn't ingest any of it. He's done this to a few of my plants in his puppyhood phase. So basically, he just shreds the plant. He doesn't ingest it. He's never gotten sick from it, but he just tears them apart, so I have to restart them. I think he's over that though, I'm hoping. This is my Luxurians. This is a pretty new acquisition. I got her in May. So anyways, she's doing great. I love her. I love how silver she is. I know that changes as they mature, but I am just enjoying this. I am enjoying watching her grow. This is just some Scindapsus Trebia Moonlight cuttings that I've taken. I've potted them in soil. They're doing excellent. I will be bringing those to the plant swap. I run a local Facebook group with a couple friends of mine and my boyfriend John, and we also host monthly plant swaps, so I'm always propagating something to bring to the swaps. Next to this is my Anthurium Wenlingeri, or Wenlingeri. This is her most recent leaf. She just gave me this. This literally just hardened off, and we already have another one on the way. That is so exciting. My Lux has been doing the same thing. They have been just like neck and neck, putting out leaves. Both of these, actually no, I lie. This is from the Green Escape, and this is from EFG Orchids, which is like a local kind of nursery to me. In this box here is some little crystallinum babies from my mother plant. I harvested the berries and I put them in this little box here of moss, and they are coming along. I don't want to open it. They're marinating, you know, they're coming along. I will show you some of the seedlings that have already, you know, started to take form in a little bit. Down here is my Anthurium Dock Block Michelle, another one that has in the beginning given me a little bit of a struggle, but this is her most recent leaf, and I think we're on the mend. Super exciting to see that. This is another dark mag hybrid, the same as what you saw earlier, the one that I showed you here. This, I accidentally picked up 2 of these. Listen, I don't know what happened, but I accidentally put a hole in this leaf. That was my fault. However, this plant also has given me some struggles. I've tried her in a few different substrates. Right now, she is currently simmering in a tree fern sort of chunky aroid mix, and she's given me this new leaf, although the reason she got the hole is because she was having a really hard time coming out, and I did the thing that you shouldn't do. I tried to help it, and we all know where that goes. Anyways, hoping we're on the turnaround there. And this is the other part of the Hoya Wilbur-Graves cuttings that I've taken from my mother vine. These are less variegated or less, I guess, less silver, as let's say the ones I showed you previously, and wait till you see the ones that I like from the mother vine. They are so beautiful. I'm hoping to get some more variegation. So anyway, I'm just really hoping to get these to root, get a nice full plant, and then we'll work on the variegation part. This is a whole story with this plant. This is just a corm from a mother plant that John bought me that totally went south. Alocasia and I we do not like each other. I love them. They don't like me. So basically this is Alocasia Dawn. I have struggled with this plant forever and always. This is just a corm that remains from the big plant, and it still gives me problems. So it just throws out a lot of white. The leaves don't ever seem to last. I'm just kind of treating her as, you know, for a moment in time, basically. This is a cute little Dracaena stump that John gifted me. I am absolutely obsessed with this. You're supposed to just put some water in this reservoir and it's supposed to like start to sprout. I can't. I think this is so darling. I just love looking at it. It's such a sweet idea, such a great little gift. I can't remember where he said he got it from, but I know he said it took a long time for it to come in. But I don't know, there's something so cute about it. This is my little Clarinervium. Super excited to have her. She's gone through it a little bit, just like some spider mites. You'll see that throughout my collection. I am a spider mite magnet, and I'm always battling them, but I would take them over some of the other like pests. So anyway, we have a new leaf coming. That's exciting. This is a amazing little story. This is one of my first anthuriums. I actually bought this off of Madison from Plant Therapy. She's a fellow YouTuber here. Absolutely love her channel. I've been watching her for a long time. But she crossed her Anthurium Silver Blush and her Anthurium Forgetii White Stripes, produced babies, and she sold some of them. So I bought one. She shipped it from, at the time, it came from Washington State. And the mailman rattled this poor baby totally out of the box. I felt so deeply bad for her. She came in, she looked so rough. Anyways, we have been on a rehab journey, and I'm so proud to say that I officially have like an actual plant here. Like this girl was a tiny, tiny seedling when she came in, and then I had to restart her basically from nothing. So she's a little chlorotic, but that's just because I've had to kind of blast her with light and humidity. She just recently graduated out of her dome. So yeah, exciting. She's got a new leaf on the way. So yes, shout out to Madison. We love you over here. And little plant baby's doing great. Okay, and then the last shelf in the Millsbow. You can see there's a dramatic decrease in light as we come down. I will turn it on to show you guys. Boom, you can see that like really brightens things up. So this is a Barina, like the Barina vertical bar that comes like on the stand or whatever. So sometimes I run this, sometimes I don't. It kind of depends. I feel like this alocasia was really struggling. I had her on the second shelf and I felt like she was just getting too close to the light. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get her acclimated and sort of out of the cabinet. Sorry guys, I don't know where we left off because the camera overheated, just typical, you know, YouTube things. I know we were talking about this alocasia and how I want to try to get her out of the cabinet. I'm also treating her for spider mites, so I know down here these plants are probably going to need to be monitored for spider mites. But yeah, that's kind of my goal with her. This is my Anthurium forgetii. And this is her newest leaf, looking great. I actually got this from the Green Escape, literally on 3/28, and it was just a tiny little seedling. It's grown so much, I can't even believe it. She's got another nice big leaf back here. But yes, it's been super easy. This is kind of a complex Anthurium. Okay, so it's Crystal Red Michelle crossed with Ace Crystal Red. Absolutely stunning. I don't even know if the camera's like doing her justice. Just the way that she captures light in so many different like hues. Absolutely beautiful. Love her lobes. This is the most mature leaf that I've had so far. It's been a bit of a struggle. I do have her in semi-hydro. She recently got potted up, but she could probably use another repot. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep her in pond or if I'm going to transfer her into soil. She always gives me these like yellow spots. But anyways, next is my variegated Anthurium vitarifolium. I'll just take the cap off so you can kind of see her looking so cute. I love these vessels. I get them from the thrift store for like super cheap. This leaf is pretty much hardened off and it looks like, yeah, she's got another one on the way. So that's exciting. Back here is another Anthurium cross. This is Anthurium bakeri crossed with, I believe, Anthurium flamingo. I'll have to double check that. And then I do have just like a little sprig of orchid down in here. He's kind of just doing his thing. Right here is my Monstera Burl Marks Flame. I know the tag says philodendron. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyways, Monstera Burl Marks Flame. This is her newest leaf, looking so cute. This is a recent acquisition, and I have just been loving watching her in here. And then this one has also been one that's given me some problems. This is another kind of complex hybrid. This is SKG Crystal Silver crossed with Bessier Af. I do have a new leaf coming. I think we're on the upswing here with this one. I do have her in just this cute little like teapot looking thing. And I think she's loving the substrate. I recently just started experimenting with like the tree fern substrate, and I do have to say, like, most of my Anthuriums are really loving it, with the combination of potting them into like large pots, not being afraid to just like pot them into large pots. And then this is my Anthurium papillolaminum. I can tell that it's doing all right, like, despite how horrible the leaves look, despite the fact that it hasn't given me any growth since this leaf. This was a recent import from Ecuagenera when I purchased it, and so I really like wasn't expecting much. I actually expected to have to start this over from scratch, and so far it's been pretty easy. There's definitely like a growth point, something happening down there at the bottom, and I'm just kind of like, I know the spider mites have really been the problem with this, but I just continue to treat it, and it seems like the more I treat it, the happier it is. I've also decreased the light, meaning I don't run this Barina bar anymore. And I don't know how I feel about that. I love having this Barina bar. I like how it fills up the space with light, but some of these plants can't handle that extreme amount of light, these two specifically. So I am probably going to rework this area at some point soon, but for now, this is what we have going on in here. And also my weather stripping, like this cabinet never seems to hold decent humidity for me, so that's another thing I need to look into. Okay, next to Millsbow Tall is my tall Vitro shelf. I would like to add potentially one, like something else here, maybe like a shorter, like something maybe like here, just to kind of fill that space in. I don't know. Anyways, up here I have Anthurium pallidiflorum, looking amazing. She hasn't done, she gave me this leaf here, and then that's it. She's kind of come to a halt. I did pot her into this large pot, so I'm sure she's just getting settled in. She does have something coming here, so I'm not too worried. I have the other part of that philodendron domesticum variegated that my puppy chewed up. This is the one I'm going to keep, and the other ones I am going to part ways with. Back here is my micans. It's struggling a little bit. I recently potted a bunch of cuttings up into this pot, and I'm just not sure they're very happy. And then right next to that is my Peperomia Hope. Funny story, this Peperomia, believe it or not, I wanted this guy for such a long time. It was such a hard find around here, and I eventually found it, bought one, and I love her. She just sits up there in that dark lighting and does her thing. This is Syngonium chiapense. She's looking amazing. I'll turn her a little bit. She's always chasing the light, but I have a few cuttings in here. She's growing amazingly in semi-hydro. I would love a variegated chiapense, but they're just still way too pricey. This is her newest leaf, or even a frosted heart. I would be happy with a frosted heart. This is just like some rando little cacti. He is crazy, you guys. But I got this pot at one of the plant swaps, and I just thought it was beautiful. And so I'm trying to get this cacti to kind of take over, and she'll have like cacti hair. Next to that is my gorgeous variegated Hoya Bella. I love her so much. She has given me absolutely no troubles. And I hope to one day have like a huge one of these. I am obsessed. I love Hoya Bella. Hoya Bella doesn't seem to love me. Before I put her back, that's just another, this is actually my my Scindapsus trebii moonlight mother vine, and all of the cuttings that you saw earlier in the Millsbow cabinet came from her and always come from her. She's just happy. She just continues to put out leaves, and I continue to cut her. This is a cutting of my Euphorbia Tylemaloides. I hope I said that right. It's like the zigzag euphorbia. This plant is so cool. I have a huge one outside, and I just took a few cuttings of it because I'd like to share it at the plant swap. And I'm not sure if these guys have even taken root yet. Maybe they have. They're giving me a little bit of resistance, but anyways, super cute. Next to that is my Anthurium podatoradiatum. And my hope is to one day grow this girl out along with my little baby Clarinervium that you saw. That's her newest leaf. And have some crosses. So like some Clarinervium podatoradiatum crosses. That is like the dream. So we're working on that. She's steadily growing. And then in here, this is just a little pot that John got me. He also got me this cloche. I love cloches. I'm always on the hunt for cloches. I think they look beautiful, and of course they, you know, they're the perfect growing conditions for plants, especially when you're starting them. So I'm always excited to have a little cloche, and in there is just a cutting of a Rhipsalis micrantha, and I'll show you my mother plant later. Next is my Ripsalis paradoxa. She is one of my favorite plants. Let me try to turn this light. Better. Why didn't I do that earlier so you guys could see better? Yeah, she really gives me no fuss. This is a plant that I know requires much more water than you may think. It goes all the way down there, but super cool. You can tell when she's thirsty because she kind of gets shrivelly. I did recently repot her into this large pot, so I know that that could also be a part of why she is looking a little rough in some places, but she is giving me new growth. So yeah, I have also taken several cuttings of her because this is definitely one that like I can't imagine not having. Next to that is my Hoya quinquenervia. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I just have her kind of growing on this circle trellis. She's doing fantastic. This is a story of like survival as well because this was just a few months ago in my Hoya video, just a couple leaves, and she just took off. She loved cabinet life, but she's outgrown the cabinet, and quite honestly, I would just love to see her doing well right here in ambient. And next to that is my Anthurium luxurians. Wait, Radicans luxurians? Yeah, Radicans luxurians. This is her newest leaf. I couldn't believe the size up. I literally repotted her into that tree fern substrate. There's an Alocasia aslanii also growing in there, so don't mind her. She's just, I don't know how she got there, but she's happy, and so we're leaving her. She also flowered for the first time, which is amazing. I'm considering cutting it because I really don't see using it for anything, but I just was also kind of curious to see what it looked like. Anyways, this is what I'm talking about by this substrate. Like, look at the jump. Unbelievable. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And then under her is just a Hoya, variegated Hoya Wyetii. This girl, she's so beautiful. Look at her pink leaves. She's so proud. She is so proud. This plant actually, I almost lost this plant. I took just a couple cuttings. This has regrown from literally just, I think it was literally just like a little piece like that. So that's exciting. And we also love our crystals, so we always have some crystals scattered in. Okay, next shelf is, this is a Clarinervium hybrid. I'm not sure what the other parent is, but I absolutely love her leaves. I think she is just so beautiful. She has been a little bit more on the difficult side for me. That's a leaf that's grown in my care. I had her in semi-hydro. I recently just put her in this tree fern mix, and I'm hoping that she's going to give me another leaf. Very slow to grow. This is why I don't keep alocasia. This is what's left of my silver dragon. This is one that I got from the big box store. It actually had like some sport variegation, and it's just constantly covered in spider mites. It, you know, it's given me a new leaf. I'm going to keep it around, you know, until it does nothing. But the only way that I can keep alocasia alive is in semi-hydro, and even then they give me trouble. So while I love them, I just don't love them enough to like deal with all of that. This is just a little sweet little syngonium that I got from the plant swap, and that is the mother plant to that little, those cuttings I showed you earlier. So it's, this is the tag, I can't pronounce this. There you go. Popigii. I probably am mispronouncing that. Anyways, I took a ton of cuttings from her. They prop easily in water, and I'm hoping to like get a nice full pot. Next is my Hoya Crassia petiolata Splash. She looks pretty good, giving me some new growth. I put her on this little handmade heart trellis that I just kind of wrapped out of some wire. She does have a couple leaves coming in, and this vine seems to be doing all right. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. She loved the cabinet, but again, I can't keep all of my Hoyas in the cabinet. This is Hoya parasitica black margin. I feel like this plant should have done so much more for me. This is just like a rigged trellis that I put together. Don't mind it. It's literally like a wreath form and some copper spikes. Anyway, I recently just propagated it. We'll get to the propagations later. I kind of think maybe this has flat mites because the leaves just always seem to do weird things, but then it will put out leaves that are nice. So anyways, I propped the vine. I'm hoping to encourage some growth. We'll see. This is just some of those Paradoxa cuttings. You can see that when she's like fully hydrated and happy, how plump she looks. So yeah, I'm a little worried about my mother plant, but I think she'll be okay. And then down here is just a piece of Hoya Chelsea. This is actually the first Hoya Chelsea that I ever had. I love her. I recently just propped this vine because it was like taking over, but I do have a really large one that I found at a big box store. It's in the pergola. I will do a pergola tour, but that's gonna come probably later. Like we'll get through the house and then we'll go through the pergola because I do have some beautiful Hoyas out there that I'd like to share with you guys. But anyway, that's her. And then finally, down to this bottom shelf, we have my Hoya, my Anthurium villanorum, looking so cute. This is another recent acquisition, I would say back in March from the Green Escape. So far, she's given me these two beautiful leaves. She's sized up pretty nicely for me. She came with these two little leaves. I don't know if you can see it. So yeah, pretty impressive. So far so good. Okay, and then next to this lovely, we have the Hoya Macrophylla variegata. She's doing well. I have her on this little trellis. That's just like some planty supplies back there. But yeah, she's doing well. And then over here is just like, this is a Monstera albo. So this is a cutting from my mother plant, and I will show you that in a minute. And then this down here, you can kind of see, is a cutting from a friend of mine who, it had reverted, so it put out like this tiny little spot, then nothing, then nothing, and then this one. So never give up hope, you know? And then this one over here is giving me that shoot. So I have no idea what this leaf is going to do next, but that's pretty much what's going on with that. And so this is the final, oh, and then last but not least, almost forgot her. How could I forget? She's gorgeous. This is Anthurium Silver Blush. She's one of my favorites. I absolutely adore these gorgeous leaves. And her emergents are absolutely stunning as well. They come out this like gorgeous red. But yeah, so this was another huge like size up. Basically, I got her not that long ago. She had 2 leaves that were, you know, that size. I put her in this substrate and boom, like crazy. So she graduated from the cabinet and yeah, that's where she lives now. And so this is a final view of the Vitso shelf. I do plan on adding some Barina lighting to this shelf, but for now, this is pretty much what it looks like. Okay, moving into the window. I'm glad it's kind of overcast today because I feel like you guys are going to be able to see better. Over there is just a tiny, teeny, tiny little pot of string of pearls that I've been trying to get to grow for like ever. I don't ever mess with it I have the worst luck with string of pearls. The fact that it's still alive and I've had it in my care for like 3 months is shocking. This is another cutting again of Ripsalis paradoxa. This is my Easter cactus. I love that pot. I actually found that pot at Michael's. And that was the cheapest place that I was able to find the disco ball pot. Did I just say that weird? Disco ball pot. Yeah, you know what I mean. This is just a little succulent that I got from the swap. It is called a Chinese dunce cap. This is my Hoya Bella, my regular Hoya Bella. I have struggled so much with this plant. You can see probably tons of spider mite damage. I think that I've got the spider mites under control with this plant. She, again, lives just like on her own. Nothing touches her. And she is giving me this beautiful new little shoot. So I'm kind of hoping that we are on the upswing. This is just a little inch plant. And then this is my Hoya Hushkaliana. Did I say that right? Beautiful. She just lives here. Yeah, she's so cute. I absolutely adore her. I wish she would sun stress, but she's just not getting enough light this time of year. Once we get into the winter months, the light comes through this window much differently, and I think she will see, or we will see some sun stressing then. But she has this nice little shoot. This is just my Lifesaver cactus. Some nice new growth. And then we're kind of coming into the corner with the Blalladin cabinet. So yes, this up here is my mother, or my large Anthurium vitarifolium. She is just, oh, I love her so much. She was doing amazing things for me, and then I repotted her. Once I repot her, she definitely slowed down in her growth, but as you can see, she has a leaf coming back there. I know it's like dark up here, guys. Sorry about that. It looks like this broke, unfortunately, this little leaf that she was going to put out. So hopefully that vine will start again. And then this is her current leaf. Again, she had some spider mites. I did treat the leaf. I will treat it again. She is doing that weird curly thing, but she has given me perfect, beautiful straight leaves before. I think she's just kind of acclimating to her new pot, you know? I'm not expecting a ton. I'm just kind of like expecting her to get settled, you know? Now, this cabinet, I do have the pink lights, the pink Barina bars. They're not my favorite, but there is like a time and place for them. So I kind of kept them pretty much just strictly to this cabinet. I do have them in my Millsbow wide as well, but when we get to that cabinet, I'll kind of get into that when we get there. Anyways, what I have learned is Hoyas love this cabinet. They love them. This Carrii inner variegated did nothing for me for the longest time until putting her under these pink lights. And since then, this plant has just exploded. So that's really, really exciting news. Let me try to open this up. Okay, so right there I just have a little Haworthia. It's one of my oldest plants. I've had her for such a long time. She is sun stressed. The Haworthias also seem to really like this cabinet. Succulents seem to like this cabinet. Maybe I should move that string of pearls up here. This is my sad Hoya polyneura. I have since taken cuttings from her because I think this is just going to be a goner. I've really struggled with this plant. Behind that is my Mandula pothos, doing amazing. Back there is my Sunrise Hoya. Again, really struggling with that. I took cuttings of it. We'll see. I may just have to start over with this plant. And then this is my Hoya Commingiana. I did get this from a big box store on the beautiful, like, little gold heart trellis I showed you guys earlier that my Hoya macrophylla is now on. Anyway, it ended up totally, like, the roots totally rot. rotted out when I tried to repot it. The way that they had packaged this plant was really more for like decorative purposes, and I think when I repotted it, it just freaked out. So that's the main stem that the whole plant originally came from. This plant grows like a weed. So anyway, we're just starting over with her. I'm hoping to do something with her. I don't know exactly what yet. My Hoya australis Lisa, this plant gets beautifully sun-stressed. It was beautifully sun-stressed when I had it in brighter light, but since then she just outgrew the space. So this is the cuttings of my Hoya parasitica black margin. As you can see, these leaves are really beautiful. So she did put out really beautiful leaves for me. I'm just hoping that these root and maybe I can just start over. Down here is my mother plant, Philodendron Silver Stripe. And back there is just some Hoya Chelsea cuttings, another Mandula Pothos cutting. The cuttings to that Hoya Polyneura, I'm literally trying everything here, guys. Literally everything. So if you have any tips, let me know. And then what I've realized is I am underutilizing the space down below, so I'm definitely going to reorganize that and kind of tidy up these cords and move some things to that bottom shelf, because I do think we are getting enough light there now that we can do that. Okay, and then over here in the sill, we have my booby cactus, or actually these are John's booby cactus. He loves cacti and succulents, but they are doing amazing. This is just a devil's backbone, dwarf devil's backbone that I am trying to propagate. My very sad variegated string of pearls. As you can see, I am terrible with string of pearls. I've had this plant for maybe 2 months. I'm surprised it's still here. One day I will have a beautiful string of pearls. I do see new growth, so that's promising. It's just, I don't know. They fizzle out, you know? They just fizzle out. Next to that is another little Haworthia. Next to that is my little Crassula ovata. And then next to that is my Euphorbia Ghost, looking amazing. And right here is where I keep my Florida Beauty. I am obsessed with her. She is gorgeous. She just gave me this new leaf. The variegation is always incredible. And she does like to give, you know, some half moon. So, you know, we love her. This is my Anthurium variegated hooker eye. Her new leaf. She is so beautiful. I love this plant. I am just envisioning this whole basket, this like wicker planter that I have her in. Like, I envision her eventually in that, just like huge and giving all the jungle vibes. Down here is a Ring of Fire, or what's left of it. This is another one my pup got into, or our puppy got into, Sam. He destroyed it, and I have 2 cuttings here. There's probably some fungus gnats. It doesn't really look like this is going to do much, although it's not browning or dying. And then I do have a shoot coming up. So I don't know. I don't know, you guys. These are so inexpensive now. If I wanted to replace it, honestly, I'm probably just going to part ways with this at the swap. And then next to this is my Veitchii. And I absolutely, oh my gosh, look at this leaf. Like, come on. I cannot. Unfortunately, my nail poked through it here, so we do have a little bit of damage, but look at these lobes. This is so gorgeous. The only thing with a Veitchii that I'm not like wild about is the leaves will curl to chase the light. So it's going to start out looking like this, and it's going to wind up going bonky, crazy, wild. And so anyway, nonetheless, gorgeous plant. Love the terracotta pot. I just think it's beautiful. And this is where I film. This is like my point of view when I'm filming for YouTube. The camera is usually set on the stool, like so. And yeah, that's pretty much what goes on. And then here is Philodendron Splendid. She's amazing. I'm currently trying to air layer this plant. I did take some cuttings of it. The cuttings are not, I mean, I do have roots. I'll show you them in a second. But what I've found with these very thin, velvety leaf phyllos is when you propagate them, that mother leaf, it's like an immediate spider mite treat. And anytime I've ever, like my varicosum, anytime I've propagated this plant that way, it always happens. So I am trying to air layer it. And what I would like is to have a nice full moss pole of the Philodendron Splendid. It is one that I would love to have just growing up this pole, looking beautiful, like Sydney plant guy. I'm not a huge fan of moss poles, but this is a plant that I'm definitely willing to take the time, you know. Okay, and then this is my Millsbow Wide. So right here we have a Philodendron Glorious. She's a pretty new acquisition, very easy. Also my Splendid, I should say, has been very easy. I have a new leaf unfurling here. She's absolutely totally cute. And then there is a little baby vine down here that I wouldn't be upset to see grow and mature and kind of, you know, fill out this pole. I would probably change this pole out, but you know, you get the idea. Up here is my pride and joy, one of my pride and joys. This is my Anthurium magnificum cross papillolaminum. I've shown her several times on the channel. I'm not going to go into huge details about it. She is now currently living in ambient, so those beautiful leaves that we've talked about in other videos, you know, they've started to crunch a little, but she's got a bigger vessel now, and she does have a new leaf coming. So she is, I think, settling in. She seems to like this spot, so all is well. Down here is a very interesting Anthurium. I don't want you to look at this leaf too much. This is unfortunately the most recent leaf, but we did transition her out of semi-hydro back into a tree fern substrate, and she's also currently living in no drainage. This is kind of an example, a better example of what her leaves have looked like so far. Now, this is an interesting cross. This cross was created by a nursery here locally. It is Anthurium titanium crossed with Anthurium fingers, so they're calling it Titan's fingers. And it's just, we don't know. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know if it's going to take after titanium, if it's going to take after fingers. So I'm just excited to watch this one grow out. I'm hoping that it's going to transition to the substrate and be happy here. This is just some, you know, planty supplies. And then these are those cuttings that I was talking about from my Splendid. This is Melanochrysum. These are definitely on their way out. But once I turn this, I don't want them really touching anything because spider mites. Beautiful little Splendid leaf. Now, these prop vessels from Temu are amazing, you guys. Look at the roots. Super Thrive water, these little prop vessels, and, you know, some high humidity, and you're going to get amazing roots. At least I do. Anyways, the issue is the spider mites take over these leaves. So I do have some rooted cuttings, and I'm going to pot them up, and that is why they're kind of out here. Either today or tomorrow. Over here is my Monstera albo. This is my mother plant. I have propagated it and it is now kind of restarting. It was a pretty, you know, good-sized vine. I have sold one of the cuttings or two of the cuttings, and then you saw one earlier. And, you know, there is some browning, but this plant gives me the most amazing variegation. It is living in my semi-hydro, no drainage. Look at that gorgeous leaf. So this, it gave me this leaf. This is since I've propagated it. This leaf is the most recent, and then it looks like, I'm not sure what the next one's going to be, but pretty stable variegation overall. And then this was a separate cutting that I put in here. It did revert, but it did give me this like little white margin. I'm not sure you can even see. And so I'm not sure what the next leaf's going to be. We'll see. I'm hoping to one day have a nice like full elbow. This is my Thai constellation, one of two. She was my first. I got this as a tissue culture back when these were like still very pricey. I think I paid $35 for this, and it was so teeny tiny. It came in like the gel. I was so new to plants. I swore this was gonna die. And here we are. She's gorgeous. So yeah, for sentimental reasons, I am hanging on to her. But because I thought for sure that I would unalive this plant, John gifted me, when like the first time these really dropped in price, with her. And she was probably this size when I got her. And now she is, you know, she's doing really, really well. These are some of her original, you know, leaves down here. But I love her variegation. I think she's so cool. It looks like someone just took a paintbrush and kind of just decided, well, you know, we'll put a stripe here, a streak there, a splash there. And this is her most recent leaf. So cute. So, so cute. This is the one you see all the time, probably in the videos. And yeah, I love her. And then this is just a peperomia pink lady. Kind of hard to see how pink she is. Let me try this light. Is that better? That might be a little better. Anyways, she's super cool. I love these variegated peperomias. I'm like obsessed with them. I do plan on repotting her pretty soon. So that's why she, you know, she was living in the Millsbo wide, and I just took her out. So yeah, we're gonna put her into a different pot, and that is that. Now we're gonna get into the cabinet. All right, guys, I've turned off the fan again. Just to go over lighting really quickly, this is one of the Barina, like, what is it, T10s, I believe. I love these lights. These lights do amazing things for me. I had a Barina, like, cabinet that I bought with the whole system, and these lights came with it. I do plan on putting another one of those in here because I have like 5 or 6 of them, and removing the pink bars because I had 2 extra pink bars, and placing these pink bars somewhere else. But that's just to cover that really quickly. Anyways, this is my mother, like, if you want to call it that, Melena chrysum, but I have propagated from this several times. This plant just prefers to live in in humidity. I cannot grow it outside of the cabinet. And so once it vines up, I just chop it back. So these leaves are super duper old. I'm not even sure this is one that I want to grow like full time. So I don't know. I may add those couple cuttings back to this. We'll see. Okay, this is a little Magnificum and Forgetii. Little guy got growing. These are, oh gosh, what is she? Dark Forgetii and Ace Crystal Red. These are just, like, this is just a little rehab. This one was gifted to me. And then up top, we'll cover that real quick. These are all the little seedlings that were like big enough, in my opinion, to kind of put in soil. So they're at 2 leaves right now. And again, that's from my crystallinum that I bred. This is my Spiritus Sancti. This plant gives me a run for my money. It's great. I love it. Don't get me wrong. This leaf, look at it. Ugh, gorgeous. Lance leaves do something for me. But the EFN this plant puts out, it's just crazy. Like, it requires super high humidity or it's going to get weird. And I actually tried growing this outside of the cabinet, and that was when it was smaller though. So I could try again. I've just been having better luck growing it in the cabinet. Although I do feel like at some point it's gonna have to come out of here. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Next to that is my Anthurium marmoratum. She hasn't done much for me since getting her, but down here is my Hoya Mathilde growing in my homemade pond. Kind of going everywhere. Next to that is an Anthurium frigidii, Selby frigidii crossed with Dock Block Michelle. Sorry, that's a mouthful. I don't want to take her out of her cloche, but you can kind of see where we're going. Her lobes are closed, and this is another sort of rehab project. Down here is my little blue oil fern giving me some cute little fronds finally. And then over here, this is pretty exciting. So this is an Anthurium Dark Ace F2 crossed with Black Beauty. And this plant is giving me what appears to be some variegation, but these leaves are stunning. Oof. Oof, another rehab project that's kind of going well, so I don't want to, like, you know, just keep my fingers crossed. This is my Hoya carnosa Wilbur Graves mother vine. So I pretty much chopped her like all the way back. Look at those leaves though. Anyway, we do have a couple new leaves coming in right here, so that's exciting. And I'm just hoping to really have a beautiful full plant, you know? Up here is a no ID, Anthurium no ID. I have no idea what she is, but what I can tell you is she's been so easy for me. She's growing in my homemade pond, and this is her most recent leaf. It's still super soft. Right behind that is another Anthurium vitarifolium that came from the Green Escape. This was accident. I had ordered the Villanorum and they had accidentally sent me this one. They replaced it, no problem. Anyway, she's growing great. And then up here are a couple gigas cuttings, philodendron gigas cuttings off of my mother vine. And then this is my Queen Anthurium. She's doing amazing. So far so good. You see her in every video. She's been growing up right on camera. You can kind of watch her journey, but she does have a new leaf coming in right there. And yeah, so far she's been super easy for me. And that is what I have going on in my Millsbow. All right guys, thank you so much for stopping by. This video is gonna have to come in parts. I'm so sorry. There's no way that I can do it all in one. So today we've done the planty corner where I spend most of my time, where I film all of my videos. And then I think next time we'll do the living room, the dining room. I have another cabinet, and then like the other plants kind of scattered throughout the house. And then I'm thinking if there's time in that one, we'll do the pergola as well. If not, we'll do a part 3 pergola tour. So sorry, someone is mowing right now. My neighbor is mowing. There's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, my camera's overheated so many times at this point, and I've been at it for almost the majority of the day. So at a certain point, you gotta call it, you know? But I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had a good time. I did. I really enjoyed filming it. One of my favorite videos to watch on YouTube is houseplant tours. I think the reason is because I'm able to find a lot of new creators that way. I feel like YouTube recommends the same faces over and over again, which is great. They make amazing content. There's a reason for that, but I enjoy finding new faces. I enjoy meeting new people on this platform. So I find a lot of new faces through Houseplant Tour. So if you are new to my channel, I hope you will consider subscribing. Maybe check out some of my other videos. Liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all of the engagement really, really helps my channel grow. And while this is really, for me, more about making friends on the platform and not necessarily, you know, becoming some huge YouTuber, the way that I can be able to meet new people is by getting some exposure. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I just really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one, part 2. Bye guys.